Verstappen claims a superb pole position to beat championship rival Lewis Hamilton at the head of the grid for Sunday's French Grand Prix. The F1 Championship leader, who holds a slender 4-point advantage over his British rival, top qualifying for the first time since March opener in Bahrain, amid a strong weekend so far around the Paul Ricard circuit, which Mercedes has dominated since its return to the sport 3 years ago. Despite appearing off the pace through practice, Hamilton was a strong threat in the pole shooter, and Verstappen required an improved final lap of a 1:29.990 to see off the 7-time world champion by a margin of 0.258 seconds. That was a good lap, but still over 2/10 off, said Hamilton to his race engineer over the radio after beating Verstappen's original Q3 time with his final attempt, but still falling comfortably short of pole. Bottas had been the faster driver through practice, but slipped behind Hamilton, although still took third from the second Red Bull, Sergio Perez, with his last lap. But Red Bull certainly appeared to be the team to beat in the south of France. If we can beat them here, then we really can beat them anywhere, said Christian Horner. So there's a lot at stake. After back-to-back pole positions, however, it wasn't quite as good a day for Ferrari as they slipped back, but it was still a strong day for Carlos Sainz, who had out-qualified teammate Charles Leclerc for just the second time to take fifth. Pierre Gasly, fresh from the first podium of the year in Baku, once again performed well for AlphaTauri in sixth. Lando Norris was the lead McLaren in eighth, just behind Leclerc, but ahead of Alpine's Fernando Alonso. Ricciardo was intense in the second McLaren. Alpine's Esteban Ocon and Aston Martin's Sebastian Vettel just missed out on Q3 and will start in the middle of the pack on a circuit where overtaking is tough. F1's last visit to Paul Ricard 2 years ago, Red Bull qualified more than a second adrift from Mercedes and finished half a minute behind their big rivals in the race, with Verstappen off the podium. But former world champions represent a very different proposition in 2021, having been quick on different types of tracks so far in 2021. They have looked ominously strong again so far. It's a significant statement that the Red Bull have outpaced Mercedes today, said Martin Brundle, but can they tomorrow? Since opening his season with an impressive pole in Bahrain, Verstappen had been frustrated in his attempts to top Q3 again, but this one did not get away from the Dutchman as he followed up provisional pole in his first attempt in the final phase of actual pole in his second. So far it's been a really positive weekend on a track where it's normally a bit difficult for us, said Verstappen, who now has 5 poles in F1. To get pole position really feels nice. It's a great day. We have to finish off tomorrow and try to get the 25 points we lost in Baku. Verstappen and Hamilton will start alongside each other on the front row for just the third time in 7 races, although that did have not a great look given the latter stage of the qualifying. Hamilton, who was racing with the chassis Bottas used for previous 4 races, rotating between teammates, had worked with his team to dial up the best setup for the W12. It's been a really, really hard weekend mentally, just trying to get the car in a happy place. You wouldn't believe how many changes we've made since practice 1, going around and chasing our tails and ending up coming back to something similar where we started. I've generally been unhappy with the car all weekend, but congratulations to Max. They've done an incredible job this weekend. They're really quick. They've got a new engine this weekend and we're click on the straight. We're loving the battle. The Paul Ricard circuit being surrounded by expansive runoff areas, there were still 2 red flags in Q1 for crashes. AlphaTauri's Yuki Tsunoda condemned himself to the back of the grid after spinning out at the first corner at the start of his first lap. Fellow rookie Mick Schumacher then crashed his Haas at the end of the session at turn 6. Schumacher was battling to hold on to his maiden Q2 position at the time, and although his crash actually meant that he maintained it, his car was damaged and he was unable to take part in Q2. The early end to Q1 curtailed a host of drivers, none more so than Aston Martin's Lance Stroll, who was without a lap at that point and so unexpectedly failed to clear the first hurdle in 19th place. Williams' Nicholas Latifi, who was just 0.003 adrift of teammate George Russell's position in Q2, was another driver left frustrated. Russell himself had to abandon a particularly strong lap 2, although he still made the second phase and maintained his 100% qualifying teammate record at Williams. And before I go, here is the classification from qualifying. Max Verstappen on pole, of course, great qualifying for him. His first pole, something that he struggled with a bit, so he'll be really happy with that. Hamilton and Bottas in second and third. I think probably the maximum they could do today. I think Perez will be slightly disappointed in 4th. He probably felt he could have got in front of at least one of the 2 Mercedes-Benzes. Sainz and Gasly, they'll be very pleased. They've had solid pace all weekend. Leclerc, he's been slower than Sainz all weekend, so he may be slightly disappointed. Norris and Alonso. Norris, I think he'll be fairly happy. But yeah, they still are lacking to the Ferraris a bit. Alonso and Knights, yeah, he's really starting to come into form now. Ricciardo and Ocon both got out-qualified with their teammates. I think that's really slightly disappointed. Vettel as well to miss out after such a great weekend last time. Giovinazzi, probably the maximum he could do today, really, as the same for George Russell. Mick Schumacher, obviously great to go into Q2, but obviously not the way he would have wanted. Latifi will be frustrated to just miss out, and of course Raikkonen will be very disappointed. Mazepin kind of just in the usual position you'd expect, and Lance Stroll bitterly disappointing for him, really. The same for Yuki Tsunoda. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, bring your thoughts, comments down below, follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily F1 news, and subscribe to my channel on the screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace!